right, let's see if I can do this. It's going to be a little bit difficult. I'm not going to lie. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Like I Said. I am your host, Caleb Quire, and today is going to be a bit different than usual, mainly just because I'm the only one in the studio right now, which is a bit of a planned accident. I don't always want to sit here and talk by myself, but it is something that I want to get better at. And likewise, I kind of just got so busy and distracted the last couple of weeks that I forgot to schedule people. So here we are. If you're listening to this on a podcast, it probably won't sound too different in the sense of edits. But if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a good chance that I'm going to cut and clip this as we move forward, mainly because I want to keep my thoughts in line. Most of the time, when I do something like this, my brain goes on an ADHD like haywire. I just ping pong all over the place, lose track of my thoughts, and I end up delivering a very less than coherent thought process in podcast. So, like I said, going back, this is definitely something I want to get better at. So I'm kind of forcing myself to do this. Yeah, I even have a list, like a write out of what I want to say so I can keep myself on track. That's also probably going to end up making this episode a little bit shorter than I really wished it to be. However, that's beside the point. I'm already starting to ramble. So, how about we just get into it? Today, I want to talk about the peaks and valleys, the ups and downs, the forwards and backwards, and the juggling act of life itself. Like I said, the past few weeks have been crazy. It's been hectic. My schedule has been crammed and packed to the teeth. And I would like to give some context of everything that I've been juggling. I have a daily marketing, branding, social media job for a local cafe, Coastal Coffee Roasters. Shout out to you guys. This coffee is keeping me alive. How about that ASMR of me drinking coffee? I've got nailed it, multiple pet portraits that I've been working on and completing. Finishing some canvas paintings, videography gigs, photography gigs, a few graphic design jobs, whether it's a shirt design, orchestra show, ad, logos, banners. I'm building 2 new projects, which I will obviously talk about later on. Not in this episode, but you get what I'm saying. I've been assembling a painting class, trying to have some form of a social life, trying to have some form of exercise, and to top it off at the very end, 2 secret projects that I have in the works. And sorry for the hesitation there. There's a car alarm going off outside. And I really hope it's not. I don't even think my car has a car alarm. I wonder if my roommate's car has a car alarm. Well, it stopped. Never mind. Anyway, goodness gracious, we're already off the rails. I give you the context just so you know where I'm coming from, not to have you view me as like, oh, woe is me. I have such a busy schedule. Or, hey, look at me. I'm so cool. I've got a slammed schedule. None of those things. I really just want you to have some context about my life so that you can either relate or compare or whatever you want to do. I think it's important. The moment someone tells me that they are slammed and super busy, my first thought is like, okay, guy, what does a busy schedule actually look like to you? And so I think that's important to have some context because maybe my schedule is not nearly as busy as yours. And I assume that there's a lot of people out there that are far more stressed out and busy than me. Anyway, let us continue. I have just a few more notes to add about my day to day schedule just so we can wrap this up in a bow. And I promise this will come into play. I generally wake up between 5 and 6:30 in the morning. Usually get to work on my projects around 8 to 9 a.m. and I work until 8 to 10:30 p.m. Now, my attention span, my focus, and my creativity start pretty high in the morning. And then it very drastically plummets as the day progresses. And so I plan my day and what I'm going to do based upon priorities. High priority up top, and then obviously the lower priorities follow suit. I've tried stacking them in different orders throughout the day, maybe to have like a little break and then do something a little bit more important later on. And this is just what is best for me. Now, I value my priorities based on a couple of things. One being reoccurring clients, they get the first bulk of the day. So anyone that continually pays me to do like the marketing and social media job, some of the orchestra design, stuff like that. First off, then comes the freelance projects, whether it's videography, photography, graphic design, that those kind of things come next. And then at the very end is when I get to work on my personal projects. So despite having the little system and despite following it, I still get affected with some uncomfortable thoughts. This is part of the peaks and the valleys. I still get the moments where I feel like I failed, whether it's I failed myself or I failed a client, whether it's a schedule related thing or I just wasn't creative enough to give them something that they really wanted, so on and so forth. Some of those thoughts originate from something that a lot of us deal with, which is imposter syndrome. It's where you feel like you're not adequate enough, you don't have the right experience, and you're just not the right person for the job, despite being the person in that position that gets the job done, that does everything that they need to do. The thoughts always kind of come back. It's that negative feed. The other aspect is the ever annoying perfectionism that a lot of people deal with. I myself being one of those. Doesn't help when you're trying to hit unattainable goals in a day to day manner. And then there's the last aspect that I judge my value and worth based on my productivity, which is, again, not the best. I mean, it works out really well when I am quite productive, but any kind of relaxation moments, any kind of like chill time, sometimes when I'm just exhausted, it doesn't feed the brain the good juices. And that's somewhat important. See, when I start to judge myself based upon my productivity and what I'm able to create, I only end up really focusing on the things that I've missed or that I haven't gotten to. Now, the things that I haven't gotten to are the next things on my list that I need to get done. So that does make some sense. A dub, a dub, a dub. No, it does make some sense that they're on the forefront of my brain. However, when I put a lot of scrutiny on those, it ends up covering up all the achievements I've already done and all the steps I've made to get to where I'm at. And then I just start focusing on I'm not as far as I need to be. When I talk about the valleys and peaks, I'm very obviously talking about the moments of your life when things are fast and high versus when they're slow and low. And it's going to change depending on how you value yourself and your self worth. Like I said, for me, my focus is always on productivity. So, despite having a system that I can follow, despite taking care of certain priorities I need to be taken care of, despite hitting deadlines that I needed to hit, I still focused on the things that I hadn't accomplished. I just saw that I wasn't as far along in my pet portraits as I wanted to be, that I didn't spend as much time working out as I wish I did. I didn't have enough time in the day or energy or creativity to work on my secret products, product projects, so on and so forth. Those kind of like fester in my brain. And when those thoughts really start to pick up, yeah, it's hard to stop them. And I don't know about everyone. I obviously can't speak for everyone, but maybe you can relate to this. It's fast. Those thoughts can fly in. They're so quick to take hold of my focus and my thoughts. No, the thoughts take focus on the thoughts. Hopefully, you can at least understand what I mean, because I don't even know how to put it into words. I mean, it takes over my entire attention, and it's easy and it's quick because those thoughts and emotions are familiar. When my brain has thought of it 1,000 times, having another one pop up is just habit. It's quick. It's nothing. It takes no effort at all to focus on all these like lack of progress in all my other areas and forget about where I've come from. Your brain likes those comfortable thoughts, and it's comfortable because they're familiar. In the area of the unknown, your brain pathways are going to go with the most walked path. And if you are one of the people that are a lot like me and you have a lot of discomforting and negative thoughts a lot, then those thoughts are going to be easy to get back into. The rewiring of the brain is very difficult. And for me, that's definitely the case. It's definitely what I'm feeling a lot right now. Like I can feel the weight. I can hear the voices in my head telling me that I have dropped the ball on certain aspects, certain things are not as far as where they need to be, certain things never even came to be at all. The good thing, the highlight, the silver lining here is that that's not always the case. There will be a moment where I do the proverbial catch up, where I'll get a large chunk of my to do list and my schedule will clear up and I'll be more able to breathe and be creative and have fun. And that rejuvenates me, gets me back to who I am. And I get the pleasure of looking back. And because in the highs, it's easier to look back because everything feels great. But I can look back and I can see the progress. I can see how hard it was to climb that mountain, but I got here. And that's what I mean, baby. That's the valleys and the peaks. And even though right now I'm kind of sitting in a valley, I know that there will be a peak for me to get to. And I didn't necessarily want to do this episode, like I mentioned in the beginning, but I knew it was something I needed to do, which is why it was very difficult yesterday when I started like put my thoughts together on paper because I looked at the rest of my priorities and I decided that this podcast wasn't high enough on the priority list, that I needed to get other things done. And that honestly did not feel good. It felt crappy because I made the choice to bring this show back. It was important to me for a reason. And I asked myself if I wanted to continue to do this in 5 years. And I do. I think it'd be a lot of fun to continue to talk to people and have a platform and see how it grows and where it goes. And I'm like, okay, so if I still want to do this in 5 years, then it's important enough to continue to put my time and effort into. So it changed my priority. And then when I had that kind of mindset shift, I was able to step back a bit and I got a little bit more excitement. I got more energy to be able to do this. But I was also able to see the ups and downs and how the flow of life affected even this project and how there's just going to be times where I don't promote and I don't publish and I might miss a week. I'm gonna try not to do that. But there's going to be times where I'm on top of it and I'm promoting a whole bunch and maybe that episode gets a lot of views and maybe the other one that I thought was really good didn't get as many views, but that's okay because if it's something that I want to do and it's important to me, then that's what I'm going to show up for. I think I've mentioned this before, but I like to talk to people about deathbed moments if they've ever had one. If you're on your deathbed, is there something that you're going to remember, like a big moment that really sticks and you're going to look back and have a fond memory of doing it? Are there going to be times where you look back and you regret something that actually like was important and you wished you had followed through? Same thing with the rule of nines. I know for a fact I've talked about the rule of nines. This is going to be important to you in 9 years, 9 months, 9 days, etc. And this thought process kind of follows the same ideology of if it's important to me and has high value, if it is a deathbed like thought or moment, sorry, that coffee made me burp. And if it is important enough that I want to keep doing this for X amount of years, then that's what you do. It's what you sign up for. And it's the not quitting that is important. It's the not giving up. If it is important to you, then you show up for it. But you gotta be comfortable enough to realize that, like I've been saying, there's ups and downs, there's flows. You're gonna crush it, and sometimes you won't. And we all kind of lose sight at certain points, but if you can, take a step back and look. I mean, hell, even Bilbo lost sight he lost sight of the One Ring. Instead of just being a spicy getaway vanishing trick, he got seduced by the power of the One Ring. And that's okay because he wasn't like that all the time. I actually did include that in the writing. Another really cool way to maybe consider how life works is the ups and downs are a lot like brushstrokes of a painting. It's how you have a complete and beautiful masterpiece by painting things and having to go up and down. I mean, what kind of lame ass piece of art is just a straight line? Come on. And so remind yourself the beauty of life is the imperfection of it all. And don't let the weight of being in a valley prevent you from moving forward. Just enjoy the moment and the fact that, hey, this is a rough time before I get to the peak. I'm just going to put one foot in front of the next one. And I'm going to eventually get to the top and I'm going to look back and I'm going to love that I made that journey, that the valley was just as important as the peak. And it's okay if some days I took it slow. And it's okay if some days I was speeding by. That's just the natural part of life. Don't be a robot. Okay. You're not AI. You're not a machine. Live your life. Sometimes you have to reprioritize things, and that's great. Some of this is definitely a message to myself, and that's great too. The point is, there will come that time where I catch up on everything and I will promote this and I'll see it grow to where I want it to be. I'll see my pet portraits get off, and my schedule is going to be free. And likewise for you, there's going to come a time where you're going to accomplish your goals. You're going to get to where you want. You're going to see that thing grow, but only if you keep going. You're going to maybe not accomplish it in the time frame that you want, but that's okay. There's no rush. You just keep moving. Because the cool thing is with the peaks and the valleys, that there's always another mountain to climb. Now, I understand that that definitely can be super daunting, especially if you're already exhausted. But it's also exciting in the fact that you're going to reach another high. You're going to have that moment of, um, oh my God, what is the word? I'm losing it. Elation. You're going to feel elated again. Yeah, you may be struggling and having a rough time, but it's not going to last. If you just keep moving forward, you'll get there. I wrote down in here, like Frodo and Sam finally getting rid of their evils, the One Ring and Smeagol. Much in the same way, you will reach another peak. And that's it. Today's podcast, today's little chit chat, my thoughts of the past few weeks is being comfortable and okay with the ups and downs, the peaks and the valleys, the fluidity of life. I don't know if I got that out very well, but not giving up is what's important. Keep moving forward and enjoy the journey. Because on a more important and better note, that's what Sanderson says. Journey before destination. It's so true. Okay. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I hope this was at least beneficial in some aspect. And I'm definitely going to have to chop and screw this up a lot. Maybe not screw. I chop and splice this up a lot. Okay. My talking is getting worse. So until next time, everyone, thank you for listening.